Welcome back everyone. Coming off a smooth 2-0 sweep and now staring down a massive 12-game NBA slate, it's time to dive in. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Box Score, where we finally get a full night of real NBA action. No more 2-game slates. This is the kind of night we've been waiting for. Yesterday was a strong one. A nice 2-0 day as we start finding our rhythm this NBA season. Let's jump into yesterday's recap. 2 beautiful green check marks. Aaron Nesmith under 14.5 points cashed easily. He finished with 5 points and 6 fouls, more fouls than points, and barely touched the ball on offense. As predicted, no one was creating shots for him, and it turned into the easiest underwinner of the season, our first under of the year. Then, Steph Curry over 33.5 points plus assists, no sweat. He dropped over 40 points by himself, hitting 6 of 12 from deep and knocking down logo threes like it was nothing. At his age, that's just absurd. So, a 2-0 day brings the season record to 4-5, down just 0.95 units, but as mentioned before, the first couple of weeks are all about gathering data, figuring out new rotations, pacing, and team tendencies. We'll take the 2-0 and keep pushing forward into this loaded Friday slate. Let's talk about 3 leans before getting to the official best bets. First one. It's a little ugly, but I like the Kings minus 5.5. Haven't locked it in yet, but it's one to watch. The duo of DeRozan and Levine hasn't worked in decades, but here we are again. Still, this is all about the spot. Utah is coming off a blowout home win over the Clippers, a complete letdown setup. That was their home opener, and everything went right. The Clippers shot 14 of 45 from deep, and the 20-point Jazz win was more fluke than form. Sabonis is questionable, Murray still out, but the Kings trio of DeRozan, Levine, and Monk should be enough at home. This is their home opener. And with Utah feeling themselves a little too much after that win, I think Sacramento handles business. Second lean. Paolo Banchero over 32.5 points plus rebounds at minus 110. We've cashed this spot before against Atlanta. Last season, his PR totals against the Hawks were 37, 46, 43, and 26, hitting the over in 3 of 4 meetings. He only took 17 field goals in the opener, but that was against Miami, a tough defensive team with size. Desmond Bane led the Magic in shot attempts, which makes me pause a little before locking this one in, but I think this is the game Banchero asserts himself. The matchup is perfect, and I expect a more aggressive 20-plus shot night. Third lean. Trail Blazers moneyline. The Warriors are playing their third game in 4 days to start the season, including an overtime thriller against Denver last night. That's brutal scheduling. Curry and the starters logged big minutes, and fatigue could show up fast. Meanwhile, Portland plays hard on both ends: team basketball, energy, and chemistry. Shaedon Sharpe looks ready to take a leap, and Morey had a 33% usage rate in Game 1. They're a strong home team, and with Golden State tired and possibly resting stars, this feels like a spot the Blazers can steal. Now for the best bets. First up, we're heading to Toronto, where the Raptors host the Milwaukee Bucks. Toronto sits at minus 1.5, total 231.2, and I'm rolling with the Raptors moneyline at minus 120, half unit. I'm buying in on this Raptors group. They were 5th in defensive rating over the final 15 games last season, and that showed again in their opener, forcing 19 turnovers from Atlanta in a 20-point win. What's crazy? They only shot 6 for 25 from deep and still won by 20. This team is deeper than people think. Quickly, Barrett, Ingram, Barnes, and Pirtle starting, with Grady Dick and Agbaji off the bench. 7 players scored in double digits last game. The Bucks, meanwhile, gave up 120 points to the Wizards, and outside of Giannis, no one scored more than 12. They lack depth, and with Porter out, their already weak backcourt takes another hit. Toronto's pressure defense should feast on Milwaukee's limited ball handlers. I expect a strong home opener performance. Give me the Raptors moneyline for the win. Next, we're heading to Memphis, where the Grizzlies host the Heat. Memphis is minus 3.5 with a total of 233.5, and this marks our first one-unit play of the NBA season. Davion Mitchell over 17.5 points plus assists at minus 120. He's the starting point guard with Tyler Herro out, and he's already making an impact. In his first game versus Orlando, one of the league's best defenses, Mitchell logged 12 assists on 14 potential assists. That's elite playmaking. He also scored 16 points on 7 of 15 shooting, easily clearing this line. He played 35 minutes, and his volume is real. Double-digit shot attempts, strong efficiency, and a heavy workload. Memphis plays fast, ranked first in pace last year, and while it may slow a bit, it's still ideal for overs. Ja Morant's defense isn't a concern, and Mitchell's combination of minutes, usage, and skill makes this number way too low. This feels like the same early season goldmine Kobe White gave us 2 years ago. We're riding this one confidently. And finally, Knicks vs. Celtics at Madison Square Garden. New York minus 5.5, total 227.5. We're targeting Jaylen Brown over 11.5 rebounds plus assists at minus 121 for a half unit. He had just 10 R plus against Philly in Game 1, but the underlying numbers tell the story. Brown had 15 potential assists and only converted 4, extremely unlucky. He also had 6 rebounds on 11 rebound chances. That's 26 total opportunities, well above what this line implies. With Jason Tatum out, Brown takes over as the primary playmaker, and in 10 games without Tatum last year, he averaged 13.6 R plus A, going over this number in 8 of 10, including 6 games with 15 plus. Against the Knicks, in 2 games without Tatum, he posted 20 and 12 R plus A. The matchup fits. The Knicks allowed 11 R plus A to Moy and 10 to Lonzo Ball last game, showing vulnerability to aggressive wings. If Towns sits, that helps too. Brown's volume, usage, and potential assist rate make this line simply too low. So to recap, Raptors moneyline minus 120 for a half unit, Davion Mitchell over 17.5 points plus assists minus 120 for one full unit, and Jaylen Brown over 11.5 rebounds plus assists minus 121 for a half unit. That's the card for Friday. Keep an eye on the pinned comment for any added plays later in the day. Thanks for the support as always. Let's make it another winning night and keep rolling beyond the box score.